Ladies and gentlemen, there's a story we all share, whether we realize it or not. A story of struggle, adjustment, and ultimately triumph. It's the story of overcome, adapt, thrive. We overcome. Life has a way of handing us situations we didn't ask for, circumstances that knock the wind out of us. Maybe it's the loss of a job, a broken relationship, a dream that didn't come true. And when we're in those moments, it's easy to feel like we've hit a wall. But here's the truth. Walls are not dead ends. They are signals to climb higher, to dig deeper, to find a way around. What makes some people stand up again while others stay down? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's mindset. The quiet decision that says, this is not how my story ends. We adapt. Adaptation is not about giving up who we are. It's about adjusting how we move forward. It's about asking, what can I learn? What can I do differently? Instead of resisting the storm, we learn how to dance in the rain. The world changes, technology evolves, relationships shift, economies rise and fall, and those who adapt grow. Let's be honest, adapting can be scary. It asks us to let go of what's familiar. But imagine this. A seed can only become a tree when it breaks out of its shell. Growth requires breaking. It requires courage to step into the unknown. We thrive. Thriving is not about having a perfect life. It's about living with purpose, passion, and resilience. It's about standing on top of what once tried to bury you and saying, I'm still here, stronger, wiser, better. Thriving happens when we stop asking why me and start asking what now. It's when we take the pain, the lessons, the growth, and use them to build something meaningful, not just for ourselves, but for others too. Here's what I've learned. No one thrives alone. Behind every success story, there are mentors, friends, family, strangers who believed in us when we forgot how to believe in ourselves. So as we overcome and adapt, let's also reach out. Because when we lift others, we rise too. Filled with moments of joy, growth, and achievement, but it is equally filled with obstacles, setbacks, and challenges. No one escapes this balance. From the moment we are born, life presents us with hurdles, whether big or small, and facing them is an inevitable part of our human experience. Yet, what truly defines us is not the mere existence of these challenges, but how we choose to respond to them. It's easy to believe that the people who succeed, who live fulfilled and inspiring lives, are simply luckier or more privileged. But if you look closely, you'll find that everyone has faced some form of adversity. The difference lies in how they approached those moments. Challenges are like mirrors reflecting back to us our own capacity for growth, resilience, and creativity. They force us to pause and confront who we are at our core. When life is smooth, we rarely get the opportunity to discover our hidden strengths. But when we face obstacles, when things fall apart, that's when our real character is revealed. It is through these moments that we discover what we're truly made of. They strip away the noise and give us a chance to focus on what really matters. When difficulties arise, the first instinct is to resist them. We ask, why is this happening to me? Or, what did I do to deserve this? These are natural questions, but staying in that place keeps us stuck. It makes us passive observers of our own lives. However, when we shift our perspective, when we realize that life isn't happening to us but for us, everything begins to change. Suddenly, a challenge is no longer just an obstacle. It's an invitation to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. The most inspiring stories you've ever heard, are they stories of people who had it easy? Probably not. They're often stories of individuals who faced overwhelming odds and still found a way forward. People who took what was meant to break them and used it to build something better. This pattern is universal because overcoming challenges is part of what makes us human. But overcoming isn't always about winning. Sometimes overcoming means simply choosing to keep going. It means waking up one more day, taking one more step, and refusing to give up on yourself. It's about acknowledging that while you may not have control over what happens to you, you always have control over how you respond. That's where your power lies, in the response. When life places a mountain in your path, remember that you have climbed hills before. You've faced things that once felt impossible, and yet, here you are, still standing, still moving. That means you already have a history of overcoming. And if you've done it before, you can do it again. Obstacles are a part of life, but they don't define you. How you rise to meet them does. Our mindset is the lens through which we see the world, and it has a profound effect on how we deal with challenges. When faced with difficulties, people generally fall into two categories: those who see obstacles as the end of the road, and those who see them as opportunities to grow. The difference between these two groups is not based on skill, resources, or intelligence. It's based on mindset. A person with a fixed mindset believes that their abilities and circumstances are set in stone. And when they encounter problems, they feel defeated because they think there's nothing they can do to change the situation. On the other hand, a person with a growth mindset understands that challenges are part of the journey and that every problem carries a lesson or a hidden opportunity to become better and stronger. It's important to understand that overcoming difficulty is not just about action. It starts with how we think. Our thoughts shape our beliefs, and our beliefs shape our actions. If you believe that a challenge is impossible to overcome, you won't even try. But if you believe that there is a way, even if you don't see it yet, you'll be more likely to take that first step and then another until a solution appears. This is why mindset is so powerful. It either opens doors or locks them before we even attempt to walk through. Life hits us hard. Our mind can become our worst enemy. Doubts, fears, and negative self-talk can make mountains out of molehills. In those moments, it's crucial to become aware of how we are thinking about the situation. Are we telling ourselves that we are helpless, that we can't handle it, that failure is certain? Or are we reminding ourselves of our past victories, our inner strength, and the fact that growth is possible? The story we tell ourselves during a challenge can either weaken us or empower us. People often underestimate how much power they have over their own mindset. While we can't control every situation that happens in life, we can control how we interpret it. Instead of thinking, this is too much for me, we can think, this is tough, but I can figure it out. This simple shift in thinking doesn't magically erase the problem, but it gives us the strength to face it. A growth mindset encourages us to view failure differently. Instead of seeing failure as something shameful or final, we can see it as feedback. Every time we fail, we learn what doesn't work, and that knowledge brings us closer to what does work. People who succeed are not those who never fail. They are the ones who refuse to give up because they believe they can improve and adapt. Cultivating a mindset that focuses on growth, learning, and resilience is one of the most powerful tools we have to overcome challenges. It reminds us that we are not victims of our circumstances. We are active participants in our own story. And with the right mindset, we can turn obstacles into opportunities for growth and success. Adaptability is one of the most essential skills we can develop in life. In a world that is constantly changing, those who refuse to adapt often find themselves stuck, frustrated, and left behind. But those who embrace adaptability, who are willing to shift their approach, learn new ways, and adjust their mindset, are the ones who continue to grow and succeed. Adaptability is often misunderstood as a sign of weakness, as if changing course means giving up on our original path. But in reality, adaptability is a sign of great strength. It takes courage and wisdom to recognize when something isn't working and to seek out new solutions. Nature for a moment. The species that have survived over time are not always the strongest or fastest, but those most capable of adapting to changing environments. The same is true for us. Life will never stop throwing curveballs, whether it's unexpected career changes, personal losses, or global events that shake the world. If we stay rigid, insisting that life must follow our exact plan, we set ourselves up for frustration and failure. But if we are flexible and open to adjusting, we give ourselves the chance to not only survive, but also to thrive in new ways we never expected. Adaptability requires us to let go of the idea that things must always go as planned. It teaches us to be okay with uncertainty and to find creative solutions when circumstances shift. Sometimes what looks like a setback is actually a redirection to something better. But if we are too focused on holding on to what was, we may miss the new opportunities standing right in front of us. Adaptability is learning. When we are willing to adapt, we are also willing to learn. Every time we face a new challenge or unexpected situation, we gain knowledge and skills that prepare us for the future. The more we practice adapting, the stronger and more confident we become in handling uncertainty. It's like building a muscle. The more we use it, the more capable we are. It's also important to understand that adaptability doesn't mean giving up on our goals or values. It means being flexible in how we get there. The goal remains, but the path may change. For example, if one door closes in our career, adaptability allows us to look for another way to achieve our purpose, perhaps even discovering a better path we hadn't seen before. Adaptability also helps us deal with change in relationships and personal growth. People change, situations evolve, and if we hold on too tightly to who we were or how things used to be, we can create unnecessary suffering. By adapting, we learn to meet life as it is, not as we wish it to be. Adaptability is not just a skill for difficult times, it's a way of life. It allows us to flow with change, to stay resilient in the face of uncertainty, and to keep moving forward no matter what comes our way. Being adaptable means being open, courageous, and wise enough to change when life calls for it. And that is a true sign of strength. Change is one of the few constants in life, yet it is something many people fear. The unknown that comes with change can make us feel uncertain, anxious, and even powerless. But when we learn to embrace change with courage and curiosity, we unlock an incredible ability to grow and thrive in ways we never imagined. Instead of seeing change as a threat to our comfort or stability, we can choose to see it as an opportunity, a doorway to new experiences, lessons, and personal transformation. We get so attached to how things are that the mere idea of change feels like a loss. We become comfortable with our routines, relationships, and ways of thinking, even if they no longer serve us. But growth and comfort cannot coexist. If we want to evolve, achieve new goals, or become better versions of ourselves, we must be willing to step into the unknown. That takes courage, the courage to let go of what's familiar and trust that we will find our way even if we don't see the whole path yet. Curiosity is another powerful tool when facing change. When we approach change with curiosity, we shift from fear to wonder. Instead of asking, what if this goes wrong, we can ask, what if this leads to something amazing? Curiosity allows us to explore new possibilities without being paralyzed by fear. It opens our minds to solutions, ideas, and opportunities we would miss if we were focused only on the risks. You grew the most, chances are, those were times when something changed and you had to adapt. Maybe you started a new job, moved to a new city, ended a relationship, or took on a challenge that scared you. At the time, it may have felt overwhelming, but looking back, you see how much stronger, wiser, and more capable you became because of it. This is why embracing change is so powerful. It pushes us beyond our limits and helps us discover strengths we didn't know we had. Not all change is easy or welcome. Sometimes change comes through painful experiences, loss, failure, rejection. But even in those moments, if we face change with courage and curiosity, we can find meaning and growth. We can ask ourselves, what is this experience trying to teach me? How can I use this to become better? In doing so, we take control of our narrative instead of letting circumstances define us. Embracing change also requires us to accept that we don't have all the answers, and that's okay. We don't need to see the entire staircase to take the first step. Trusting the process and being open to learning along the way makes us more resilient. It teaches us that we can handle more than we thought, and that every ending can be the beginning of something new. Facing change with courage and curiosity is about believing in ourselves, believing that no matter what life throws at us, we have the inner strength and creativity to navigate it. And when we do that, We don't just survive change, we grow, evolve, and thrive because of it. Failure is often seen as something to be ashamed of, something to avoid at all costs. From a young age, we are taught that success is everything and that mistakes are signs of weakness or incompetence. But in reality, failure is one of the most powerful teachers we have. It is through failure that we learn, grow, and build resilience. Every time we fail, we are given a choice to give up and walk away, or to examine what went wrong, adjust our approach, and try again with more wisdom. Failure strips away illusions and forces us to face the truth about ourselves and our efforts. It shows us what we need to improve, what we may have overlooked, and where our blind spots are. Without failure, we would never learn these lessons. In fact, most of the people we admire for their success, whether in business, sports, art, or life, have failed countless times before they reach their goals. What sets them apart is not that they avoided failure, but that they used it as a stepping stone. We fail, it can be painful and discouraging. It's natural to feel disappointed or frustrated. But if we allow ourselves to move beyond that initial reaction and look deeper, we can find value in the experience. Every failure holds information about what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change. It's like a feedback system, constantly giving us clues about how to improve. Instead of asking, why did I fail? We can ask, what is this failure trying to teach me? That shift in thinking turns failure from an enemy into a guide. Failure also builds resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to keep moving forward even when things don't go as planned. But resilience isn't something we are born with, it's something we develop through experience. Every time we face failure and choose to stand up again, we are strengthening our resilience. We are proving to ourselves that we are capable of enduring hardship and still moving forward. Failure humbles us. It reminds us that we don't know everything and that there's always more to learn. This humility makes us open to new ideas, to seeking help, and to improving ourselves. When we embrace failure as part of the journey, we also become more compassionate toward ourselves and others. We realize that everyone struggles and that mistakes are a universal part of growth. Some of the greatest innovations, breakthroughs, and achievements in history were born out of failure. The light bulb, vaccines, technology. Many of these things came after repeated failed attempts. If those individuals had given up after their first or 10th failure, we might not have the progress we enjoy today. Failure is not the opposite of success. If we can learn to see failure as an opportunity to grow rather than a reason to quit, we unlock our true potential. Every time we rise after a fall, we become stronger, wiser, and more capable of achieving the things that matter most to us. One of the most overlooked aspects of overcoming challenges and adapting to change is the importance of having a strong support system. Many people think that resilience and success are about doing everything alone, proving their strength by never asking for help. But the truth is, no one thrives in isolation. Human beings are wired for connection. Throughout history, people have survived and succeeded because of their communities, their families, their teams, and the relationships they built along the way. When life gets hard, and it will, having people who support, encourage, and guide us makes all the difference. A good support system provides not only practical help, but also emotional strength. Sometimes the most powerful thing someone can say to you in a difficult moment is, "You are not alone." Knowing that someone else believes in you when you are struggling to believe in yourself can give you the strength to keep going. It can remind you that even if you feel broken or lost, you are still valued and cared for. This emotional safety net helps reduce feelings of isolation and fear, which often make challenges feel even bigger than they are. Support systems also bring perspective. When we are in the middle of a problem, our view can become narrow and clouded by emotion. We might only see one way forward or feel like there's no way out. But talking to someone we trust, whether a friend, mentor, family member, or colleague, can give us fresh insight. They may see options and solutions we don't see. They may have faced similar struggles and can share what worked for them. Sometimes all we need is a reminder that this moment is temporary and that we have already overcome difficult things in the past. Building a support system doesn't happen overnight. It requires effort and vulnerability. We have to be willing to open up and let people in, which can feel scary, especially if we fear judgment or rejection. But when we take that step, we give others permission to support us, and we also show them that it's okay to ask for help when they need it. Strong support systems are built on mutual trust, where giving and receiving help go hand in hand. Mentors and professional networks play an important role. Mentors offer wisdom from their experiences, helping us avoid pitfalls and showing us new paths. Professional communities or peer groups give us a space to share challenges unique to our work or goals. Surrounding ourselves with people who inspire us and challenge us to grow keeps us motivated and focused. Supporting others is also part of building a healthy system. When we show up for others by listening, encouraging, and offering help, we strengthen those bonds, and often in helping others, we are reminded of our own strength and capacity for empathy. Support systems are not a sign of weakness, but a foundation for resilience. They remind us that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. When we lean on others and let them lean on us, we create a shared strength that helps everyone rise. It's together that we adapt, grow, and thrive. Gratitude is one of the most powerful, yet underestimated tools for overcoming challenges and thriving in life. When people think about growth, resilience, and success, they often focus on hard work, strategy, and determination. While all of these are important, gratitude has a unique ability to shift our mindset and help us navigate even the most difficult situations. It's not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. Rather, it's about choosing to focus on what is still good, what we still have, and what lessons we are learning, even in the midst of struggle. Life gets hard, our minds tend to focus on what's missing, what's going wrong, and what we've lost. This focus is natural. It's part of how our brains try to protect us from harm. But staying in that negative space for too long drains our energy, weakens our motivation, and makes it harder to see solutions. Gratitude acts as a counterbalance. It brings light into dark moments by reminding us that even when things fall apart, there are still reasons to keep going. During a tough time, whether it's a personal loss, a failure, or a setback, taking a moment to reflect on what we're grateful for can shift our emotional state. Maybe we're grateful for a friend who listens without judgment, for the strength to keep trying, or even for the lessons we are learning through difficulty. These may seem like small things, but in challenging times, they become lifelines. Gratitude shifts our attention from what is beyond our control to what we can appreciate and value right now. Gratitude also builds resilience. People who regularly practice gratitude are often more optimistic and hopeful. They believe that even when life is hard, better days are possible. This hope fuels perseverance, the determination to keep moving forward. Gratitude helps us see that life is not only about struggle, it's also about beauty, kindness, and connection. This broader perspective gives us the emotional strength to face adversity without being consumed by it. Gratitude improves our relationships. When we express appreciation to the people who support us, we strengthen those connections. Letting others know we are thankful for their presence and kindness deepens trust and mutual respect. In turn, this makes our support systems stronger, which helps us adapt and thrive even more. But gratitude creates a positive cycle. The more we appreciate, the more we notice to be grateful for, and the more we are uplifted by these moments. Gratitude also keeps us humble and grounded. It reminds us that we are not alone in our successes or struggles, that others have contributed to our journey. This humility makes us more open to learning and growing because we recognize that life is a shared experience. Gratitude is not just a feel-good practice, it is a mindset that helps us survive tough times, see opportunities and challenges, and build a life rooted in meaning and connection. When we choose gratitude, especially when it's hard, we give ourselves the gift of perspective, the ability to see beyond the struggle and recognize the strength, love, and lessons that still remain. Thriving beyond survival means moving from a place where we are just getting by to a place where we are truly living, growing, and finding fulfillment. Many people go through life simply trying to survive, handling one challenge after another, staying in their comfort zones, and doing only what is necessary to avoid failure. While survival is important in difficult times, staying in that mindset for too long can keep us stuck. Thriving, on the other hand, is about embracing life fully, taking risks, growing, and creating a meaningful path forward. We are in survival mode. Our focus is on immediate needs, getting through the day, managing stress, and avoiding danger or failure. This is natural when life feels overwhelming. But thriving requires us to shift our focus from just making it to imagining what is possible. It's about asking deeper questions. What makes me feel alive? What brings me joy? How can I contribute to something bigger than myself? When we start to think this way, we move beyond surviving, we begin to live with purpose. Thriving also involves growth. Growth doesn't happen automatically. It happens when we are intentional about learning from our experiences. Every time we overcome a challenge, we gain wisdom and strength. But to thrive, we must use that wisdom to build something better, to set new goals, to improve ourselves, and to help others. It's about turning pain into purpose, mistakes into lessons, and obstacles into stepping stones. Thriving is taking care of ourselves, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. When people are in survival mode, they often neglect their well-being. They push through stress, ignore their emotional needs, and forget about joy and creativity. Thriving means recognizing that self-care is not selfish, it is necessary. It means making time for what nourishes us, whether it's relationships, passions, hobbies, or simply rest. When we care for ourselves, we have more energy and clarity to pursue meaningful goals. Thriving also requires courage. To move beyond survival, we have to be willing to take risks, to try new things, to step out of our comfort zones, and to face the fear of failure. It's easy to stay in a safe but unfulfilling place. But real growth and fulfillment happen when we dare to pursue what matters to us, even when the outcome is uncertain. Every step we take toward growth makes us stronger and more confident. Thriving is about contributing to others. It's not just about our personal success. It's about making a difference in the lives of those around us. When we use our experiences, strengths, and lessons to support others, we create a sense of meaning that goes beyond ourselves. Helping others thrive makes our own journey richer and more fulfilling. Thriving is about living fully, embracing growth, joy, purpose, and connection. It's about refusing to settle for just getting by and choosing to create a life that reflects our deepest values and hopes. When we thrive, we not only rise above challenges, but also inspire others to do the same. To overcome, adapt, and thrive is not just a journey, but a way of life. It's about facing challenges with courage, learning to adjust when life doesn't go as planned, and choosing to grow stronger and wiser through every experience. Life will always bring uncertainties, setbacks, and unexpected changes, but it is in those very moments that our true strength is revealed. When we embrace failure as a teacher, seek support from those around us, remain grateful for what we have, and focus on thriving rather than just surviving, we unlock our full potential. Thriving is about rising above fear, stepping beyond comfort, and daring to live with purpose, passion, and resilience. It's about believing in ourselves even when the road is unclear and trusting that every challenge is shaping us into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. So let us not fear the obstacles before us. Instead, let us face them boldly, adapt with an open heart, and choose to thrive. Because life is not just about surviving, it's about becoming the best version of ourselves.